Mr. Glavis, this is your...
The Commission has focused in on what is generally considered mafia, although that's an overused word. It is syndicated crime in the sense that we have associated certain individuals over a period of years with other individuals who commonly are in what we refer to as syndicated crime. They're in investment. Real estate, for example, is one very outstanding example. They're in various other types of legitimate investment. It's hard to name even one or two that are predominant.
The fourth meeting.
Yes, it is.
You must have drawn some conclusions, had some suspicions confirmed from the previous three. Could you give us a little insight as to what this January report that you're going to issue is going to be about?
Well, number one, I'm not certain that there will be a report in January. The Commission realizes the size of the problem and the need for considerable study. So it may be that the report promised in January may be somewhat optimistic.
Are you saying that the problem is even worse than you suspected, and or maybe worse isn't the word? There's more organized crime in the state than you originally envisioned, and it's going to take even longer to get the report out?
No, I'm not saying anything of that nature. What I am saying is that the need for in-depth study of the problem is still here. As has been said by others, there seems to be a good deal of movement of organized crime figures into California. There seems to be a good deal of infiltration of what has been commonly referred to as white-collar crime in California. A great deal of this is what the average person would categorize as legitimate entry into a business. However, the long-term implications of mob figures into even legitimate business is something that is of concern to the Commission. And that is why I am saying what I said a few moments ago, that the need for additional study is becoming more and more apparent.
There's always some question, Chief, about what you're talking about when you're talking about organized crime. Are we talking about what people would commonly refer to as the mafia, or just small groups of people who are organized, say, a car theft ring? Organized crime figure in the state of California.
I would prefer not to answer that question.
Chief, you mentioned legitimate businesses. Could you mention some of the areas you're finding these members?
In a great many.
Of bingo is going to have on organized crime.
I really have no comment on that. I think there's been a big press for some legalized gambling that will benefit charities. I think we have to see over a period of time how well it's handled by the law enforcement people, and then perhaps make some judgment.
Chief, when these people go into these legitimate businesses, what do they do to the legitimate businessman who is operating in those fields?
Well, there's several modes of operation, and of course it depends upon the mobster's intent at the time they move into the business. We have seen the mob figures move into legitimate business, spend the business into bankruptcy, take its resources, and leave. On the other hand, we have seen them operate for a profit very legitimately in numbers of businesses.
What will your commission do, when you recognize, when you identify these organized crime figures? What if Joe Bonanno, a noted organized crime figure, was to move into Palm Springs from the Tucson area? What would the commission do? What would you be able to do?
Well, we do not hope to directly do anything as a commission. We are not a law enforcement agency. We're not empowered to take direct action against mob figures, and we're not amassing evidence for the purposes of prosecution. What we are doing is hoping that we will make an assessment of several factors in this field. Number one, the adequacy of the tools that law enforcement presently have, the degree of coordination and cooperation that exists between the various agencies, and I think we all realize that there's a proliferation of agencies interested in this field. The Internal Revenue Service, the Franchise Tax Board, ordinary law enforcement agencies like the Los Angeles Police Department, the LA Sheriff's Office.
What problem does organized